Second Amendment is very strong. It's ingrained deeply in the American psyche, and the amount of guns owned by civilians far exceeds the number of people in the country. So, looking at this from a pragmatic point of view, it would be absurd to think that any politician, any government in the United States will successfully outlaw gun ownership. Even trying to do that would do a couple of things. One is it would yet create more gun sales. And we're already talking about hundreds of millions, if not billions, of guns in the hands of civilians. The whole thought, idea, conversation about banning guns will encourage these people to go out and buy even more guns. So it's futile. It would cause a civil war. We have no choice but to look at gun ownership as the foundation of American defense. No country is going to invade America. So if we look at it purely from a point of view of guns, we have the military, we have the National Guard, we have the police, and then beneath that we have the entire civilian population that is heavily armed. We don't have to worry about dictators in America. We don't have to worry about tyrannical governments, unlike China or Russia, because if there were such a leader to come to power in the United States and try to behave in those ways, there's so much weaponry across the society that the potential dictator and their cohorts would just be dispatched in short order. So there is a legitimate society-wide stability reason for Americans to own guns. So to think in any other way in terms of gun ownership is pathetic, because there's going to be no control, and that's just the way it is. But having said that, we have to look at the previous discussion about mental health disabilities, and then we have to look at the craziness in terms of high school students shooting up their high school class, or young adults going to kill people randomly across the society, or in high schools or junior high schools or in colleges. Now here, the world of guns has bumped up against the world of mental disability. So the real question is, okay, Americans need to own guns purely from a point of view of society-wide safety. But do we want people with mental disabilities to own guns? The answer, no. Do we want people who are, let's say, under 21 years old to own a gun? No. If you want to buy beer, you got to wait till you're 21 years old, okay? In some places, if you want to buy cigarettes, you got to wait till you're 21 years old. If you want to own a gun, you can go out and do that when you're 18 years old. It makes no sense, because we know the human mind is still developing in the teenage years. So we're seeing these high school students that have their cases of functional mental disability, and we don't discover until it's too late that they're actually untreated folks with mental disabilities. So we have to tie these two worlds together. If a counselor or a teacher or someone in the, say, high school as an example, or college, junior high, or whatever, if they see a person behaving in any kind of mental unstable way, and there's some kind of thought or issue or piece of evidence that they may be gravitating toward the world of guns and violence, perhaps that person needs to be evaluated, okay? But that's not happening right now. What's happening is guns are being glorified, these kids with mental disabilities are not being treated, and now they're seeing a gun as a way to get back at their classmates. We know that kids can be brutal to each other. Kids are brutally honest. It's not until they get a little older that they realize if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. But at that young, impressionable age, what's happening is people with mental disabilities are feeling like they are being bullied, or they're being made fun of, or they're being shunned, or whatever the case is. Something that the normal person would just brush off and say, well, screw it, who cares? Life still goes on. But people that are mentally sensitive and who have untreated mental disabilities are internalizing these rather negative thoughts, and then they are looking across the society and they say, well, geez, other people took a gun and shot all of their classmates. And all of a sudden this is seen as a viable solution. No, it's not a gun problem. This is a mental disability issue that is going untreated.